Okay, today we're working on angle relationships in polygons. This lesson's going to go somewhat quick, so please pay attention. I want to help you with the exam, so this first question is actually helping you put some of the information we learned earlier in the year into your long-term memory and prepare you. You may want to pause the video here. I would advise it. See if you can do this question on your own. For those who have no clue, follow along, but I think you should still give it a shot and see how far you get. All right, so here I go. We're going to first subtract 6 from both sides. So in answering this question here, we want to first leave the left side of the equation alone. So we have the left side untouched, and then we're going to have 3/4 minus 6. And the next step, you want to get a common denominator. So again, the left side stays the way it was, equal 3/4 minus, and if you find the proper common denominator, you're going to end up with 24 over 4. Then you have x plus 1, left side is still unchanged, equal negative 21 over 4. Now that we're armed with that information, we want to implement a strategy we learned earlier, cross multiplication. So we're going to crisscross here, and I'm going to start up here again. I'm going to multiply 4 times x plus 1, and that's going to equal a negative 21. You have to give the negative to either the numerator or the denominator. I have a habit of just giving it to the numerator, but it really doesn't matter. And then we're going to use the distributive property here. 4x plus 4 equal negative 42x plus 21. And then in my next step, I'm going to skip a couple of steps here. I'm going to add 42x to both sides, and I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I end up with 21 minus 4 here. And then I get 46x equal 17. Divide both sides by 46, and then my answer is going to be x equal 17 divided by 46. Okay, moving right to our learning goals. The sum of the exterior angles of a convex Measure of an interior angle would be sum of interior angles equal 180 times 8 minus 2. In this case is 180 times 6. 180 6 times, I believe, comes out to 1,080. 180 times 6, if I did that, I knew that wasn't going to work. 180 times 6 is 1,080, just to double check. So the sum of the interior angles of this is going to be 1,080 degrees. The measure of an interior angle, if you divide that by 8, you should end up with 135 degrees. If one angle in an octagon is a 135 degrees, then the exterior angle has to add up to 180. You're left with 45 degrees. And 45, there's 8 exterior angles, 45 times 8, none other than 360. In a decagon, that's 10 sides, so there are 10 vertices. The measure of an interior angle, well, 10 sides, the sum of interior angles is 180 times 10 minus 2, and 10 minus 2 is 8. 180, if you do 180, let's get rid of that, times 8, we get 1,440. So the sum of interior angles is 1,440. The measure of one interior angle would be 1,440 divided by 10, which of course is 144. And the measure of an exterior angle would be 180 minus 144, because you have a 10-sided shape, and as we did with the other polygons, the 180 minus 144 is what we're looking for, so that's 36 degrees. There's 36 degrees, but there's 10 exterior angles, so then the sum of the exterior is, once again, 360 degrees. I know that went quick, but you should try this on your own. The formula is fairly simple and explained below why that is the case at the beginning with the pentagon. Take a look at this. Find the sum of the interior angles of a regular polygon with 8 sides. Again, 180 times the number of sides minus 2 is 180 times 8 sides minus 2 is 180 times 6. And we said that's 1,080 degrees. That's the sum of the interior angles. What is the measure of each interior angle? Well, it's 1,080 divided by, so we know all these angles in here, all these angles right here add up to 1,080, but each one, just divide that by 8, and you'll get 135. So the sum, so each angle equal 135 degrees. Here it says, how many sides does a polygon have? Now it's asking you for the number of sides. If the sum of the interior angles is 360, so start with the formula, 180 times n minus 2, and the key here is that it gave you the sum of interior angles. It gave you this part of the equation. So we know that's 3,060 is equal to 180, sorry, you're going to use a distributive property here, and we're going to multiply 180 times n, which is 180n, and 180 times negative 2, which is negative 360. This is probably one of the more challenging questions you can possibly get. And now what we want to do is add 360 to both sides. So we get 3,060 plus 360 equal 180n, and 3,060 plus 360 should give us 3,420 equal 180n, and we have 3,420 divided by 180 equal n, which I believe is 15. But let's try that. 3,420 divided by 180. Let's try that again. 3,420 divided by 180 is 19. All right, I stand corrected. So n equal 19. And that's it. So therefore, that didn't work out either. Therefore, the polygon has 19 sides. And that's it. All right. I hope that makes sense, and we'll see you in class.